All right, is this thing on? All right, cool. Hey there, everyone. If you don't know me, my name is William, and I have been Griffin and Grace's official third wheel for the last half decade or so. Sorry I'm not there in person right now, but I can assure you that I'm speeding down Highway 90 literally as fast as possible to get there. But in the meantime, let's begin. So I first met Griffin when we were in grade school, and if memory serves me correct, we played on a little league team that was coached by Mr. Bryan at some point in time. My fondest memory of me and Griff as kids was probably the time that he got me grounded for the first time ever in my life. Long story short, sixth grade, I was playing for the Yankees. He was on the Reds and pitching against us. I went up to the plate and, of course, ripped a little double to the right side, and because Little League games were literally the most, important, intense thing in the entire world, and probably more, pressing than the Super Bowl. I just remember getting to second base and staring him down. Mr. Bryan took Griffin out right after that and put him back at first base. And of course, the next pitch, someone hit a liner right to Griffin at first. He grabbed it, threw it to second, and doubled me up, even though I was safe. To this day, I still believe that. So I got really mad and went back to the dugout and, had to do the walk of shame, walking right by Griff. But went to the dugout, threw my helmet down, and let's just say Jeannie got a hold of me from there. Wasn't good, but yeah. So again, for that, thank you, Griff. I know I've said that a million times, but why not one more time? Um, but going into high school, it's really where Griffin and I kind of started to really get to know each other. 85% of our conversations were either about A&M athletics or the Astros, and the other 15% really kind of consisted around Star Wars and Marvel. But then again, to be fair, that really still hasn't changed much to this day and time. Um, but I think we got really close though once I kind of claimed the Gateway Couch as my second home freshman year. Almost every free moment I had was really just spent there, watching live PD or Impractical Jokers with Griff, trying to kind of just figure out our next plan or our next trip to Los Cucos. And then over the next 5 years or so, we saw countless Astros games, countless Jimbo Fisher collapses, and countless parlays fall on their final leg, driving us to the point of genuine insanity at times. Not to mention all the times we stayed up late at night, playing MLB The Show. That these games would end up turning into screaming matches while we lived at Axis. And sorry, Dylan, about all that. Or just the times that I begged him to go to Dollar Beers with me. Speaking of Dollar Beers, during this time is also kind of when I got close to Grace, also known as my unofficial roommate for 75% of my college experience. And before I say anything nice about her, I just want to remind everyone watching right now that she forced me to live with a cat for not one, not two, but 3 years, and also tried to convince me that ground beef did not need to be seasoned for at least like 18 months. Two insane things that I don't really think I'm over to at this point in time in my life, but I digress. Grace very quickly became my confidant in college. And over time, she really kind of turned to the sister that I've never had. No matter what, she's been there for really every moment that I can think of. From blaring "I Miss the Rage" in my ear when "To Engage" was forever memorialized, or to trying her best to eat 9 hot dogs and drink 9 beers, as John Cena became a 17-time world champion earlier this year. She's really been entangled in all of Griffin and mine's stupidity over the years, and I'm really thankful for that. So I've mentioned a bunch of fun moments in the past, but I think as my time around these two, I think some of the coolest moments I've seen are really the two about how much they love each other. And like I mentioned, as the unofficial third wheel, or official third wheel, actually, I've really seen it all. But I think the best of them was summer of 2022. So Grace had just moved to Dallas for her internship, and Griffin was still in College Station working for the good old Ags. I drove up to see Stat one weekend for the baseball regionals, but went up a day early because I wanted to watch the season finale of the Obi-Wan Kenobi Star Wars show. So right as they were about to start it, me and Griff were just laying in the living room, just on each couch. We had about 10 of them at that point in time. We're about to start watching it, and Griffin FaceTimes Grace. So the two of them could watch it together, even though they were 3 hours apart. And now when I look back at it now, did Grace really care about watching, Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader fight it out? Probably not. But did Grace know that Griffin wanted to watch it with her? Absolutely. And so she did. It was little things like that that have made a really long lasting impression on me. The late nights when Grace was working on an estimating project and Griff would stay up, albeit playing on his PlayStation, but staying up to make sure that she got it done in time. Or just their insistence on going to Luigi's each Sunday for a date night, even when I'd beg and plead for them to stay because I wanted to watch old UFC reruns for the 200th time. I was really just lucky enough to be able to watch these two build a bond that was created or build upon a bond that was created so many years ago. To the point where I often refer to them as my parents. These two have really been with me through every high and low over the last 7 years of my life, and have really been in my corner for every little thing. I'm honored to stand before both of them today, albeit virtually, and everyone here on the eve of the biggest day of their life. And I know you're kind of probably looking around and checking the time and wondering how much longer I'm going to go. So one more thing before I'm done. I found something on my notes app a couple months ago, written July 15th, 2022, addressed to Griffin and Grace. I don't really know where I was getting at with this, but I do feel like senior year William would want this to be said today. Quote, we used to say in college as a joke that you can't lose if you don't quit when it comes to gambling. Although that was obviously a joke and something to mess around with, it's pretty dang true when it comes to the real world and relationships. Marriage won't be a walk in the park, but if you guys consistently trust in and love each other, you'll never lose because you're never going to quit. End quote. Not really sure where I was going in my brain with at the moment, but yeah, we're gonna take it as it is. Um, Griffin and Grace, I love you guys, and I'm so happy for both of you. I really can't wait to see this life that you two build together. It's gonna be awesome. And before I get out of here, one more thing. I'd like to make a little bit of a modified toast, if you will. So if you don't mind, sorry, I am going to pop the top on this right quick. All right, to the cancelers. Cheers.